Hi Taurus, thank you so much for checking out your October 2020 tarot reading. Please remember this channel is pretty new, so it needs all the support it can get. Please remember to like, to comment, and subscribe, as well as check me out on Facebook and Instagram at claire.voyant.queen and Twitter at _Claire_voyant. I have so many Halloween goodies headed your way, and I cannot wait to share them with you. Please also remember this energy could be vice versa. This could apply to you, but this also could apply to your partner. This could apply to literally anyone around you. Please check out your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus for more messages and more content, but I cannot wait to get started. Hi Taurus, welcome to your October 2020 tarot reading. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. Let's jump in. I'm going to be using two different decks today. I got the Romance Angels deck that we're going to be using for the preliminary pull. And then I also have the Rider-Waite deck that we're going to be using for the third pull, and to kind of clarify everything and bring everything back to the center. But tell me what's in store for Taurus. Tell me what's in store for Taurus. Tell me what's in store for Taurus for October of 2020. Tell me what's in store for Taurus. 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 Taurus for October of 2020. Taurus. Okay. Tell me what's in store for Taurus for October of 2020. Taurus for October of 2020. Okay. Okay, Taurus, let's go for it. Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. We also have engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And very soon, wow, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. You might have a relationship headed your way, Taurus, very soon, in fact. So it looks like I'm kind of getting the impression that you are magnetically drawing this in yourself. You might be actively manifesting it. You might be indirectly manifesting it. But I feel like you're at a place where you're kind of really enjoying life, especially with this playfulness card here. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So I kind of feel like you're really enjoying life. I feel like you're bringing a lot of positivity to your life and the lives of others, and I feel like people are being magnetically drawn to that. And so you could be experiencing some sort of commitment coming in for you. You may not know this person, you may already know this person, but it feels like this hasn't fully happened yet. It feels like it will happen. It feels like it hasn't happened yet. It feels like it'll happen very soon. Engagement could mean that you are experiencing, if you're already in a commitment, you could be experiencing like an actual marriage proposal or something along that line. But think of it more so as we're raising our relationship status somehow, some way, right? Let's go ahead and pull some animal spirit cards and we'll go from there. Love this. Tell me about Taurus. Tell me about Taurus. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. Tell me about Taurus. Taurus for October of 2020. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. Okay, Taurus. Tell me about Taurus. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. I abuse these cards so much, the corners want to come up. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. Taurus. Taurus. for October. Okay. Taurus, you are the elk. Okay. Your partner is the oyster. In your emotional connection, we have the stingray. And in your physical connection, we have the beaver. Okay. Like this. I like this a lot. You have 3 cards of water. You have 1 card of earth. So lots of emotions, lots of like emotions and feelings in this connection that's coming in for you, right? Let's go ahead. We'll pull from the Spirit Animal book because I want you to get all the information you can, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. I like what I'm seeing so far. So Taurus, you are the elk. Stable, resilient, headstrong, the father. That pretty much sums you up, right? The great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. This means it provides underlying support and stability amid life's many changes. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. Yeah, Taurus, it kind of feels like you're very much in your power. You're very much in a place where you feel confident, where you feel stable, where you feel secure. Feels like you're very positive, and it feels like you're almost like being in your own power and being as like rooted as you are. You're kind of drawing in a lot of really beautiful things into your life, such as like this new commitment, this new engagement, this kind of leveling up, right? I feel like you're just at a really good place. Over here for your partner, we have the oyster. I'm really getting to, I should kind of say, this could apply to obviously multiple people, but I'm really getting that this might be a newer relationship coming in for some of you. I keep feeling it as a newer relationship versus a relationship that's already present. It could apply to both of you, but I might be describing this person as someone newer because that's how it's resonating more so for me. Let's go ahead and read the oyster. Okay. Oyster. Also too, I just noticed that you have the oyster, right? And you also have the beaver, which is on the previous page, right? So that might be something, because I sometimes will relate these cards to tarot cards because essentially it's comparable to like, you know, a 1 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles kind of thing. But the oyster, patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they can achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead them to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. So it does kind of feel like your partner might be in hiding. It feels like your partner is not ready to come out. It feels like there's something, your partner has a really, really beautiful, beautiful gift, right? Really something to kind of show off and really kind of share with you, right? But they're not ready to open up yet. They're not ready to come forward yet. It feels like you are all gung-ho, you are all ready. It feels like your partner might have a little bit more work to do. It's kind of the energy that I'm getting. Let's go ahead with the stingray and the emotional connection, which is also probably attributed, my guess would be, to your partner as well. Let's see here, stingray. Stingray, developing confidence, sense of self, or spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. A moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore, right? So this is developing confidence, sense of self, or spine, right? I feel like this emotional connection between you two, whether you know each other or whether you don't know each other, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're not in a relationship, I feel like the emotional connection is growing. It's growing, 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 growing. And it's going to grow into something incredibly beautiful, but it takes time. It takes time. It takes patience. It requires both parties to really open up here, right? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting in this connection. And last but not least, in the physical relationship, we have the beaver, which again, I'm not really surprised to see. It feels like it's kind of following the storyline. Let's see here. Beaver. Hard worker, loyal, tireless, family first. This is also the second time we've seen the word family. So this could be a family that you're starting, a family that you are beginning. It could have something to do with your own family from where you grew up, but I feel like family might be playing a role for some of you guys in this connection. The beaver personality is a welcome sight. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by the way of the earth element, providing a home, financial stability. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term, steady effort. It can also signify that it's time for some karma yoga, selfless service, right? So this does feel like a very long-term commitment that's kind of going to start occurring, that's interesting. I said a long-term commitment that's going to start occurring, and I had the Wheel of Fortune card just kind of flash in my mind. And that kind of makes me think that things are starting to move, things are starting to take off. It felt a little bit slow. It kind of feels like, when you're just starting to ride a bicycle, like literally the first turn of the pedal is always really challenging to get the bike going. That's kind of how it feels. It feels like things are starting to take shape, starting to transform, but it feels like it takes time. It feels like it takes patience, and it feels like it takes a lot of energy. It can really blossom into something really, really beautiful here. I really like what I'm seeing, but I do think it's going to kind of take time. But I feel like the wheel is just starting to really like turn for you, and I really like that. Let's go ahead. We'll pull some Rider-Waite cards, and we'll go from there, guys. Tell me about Taurus. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. And there we go. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. Tell me about Taurus. Okay. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. Tell me about Taurus for October of 2020. Okay, Taurus, let's see what's on the board. In your current situation, we have the Page of Wands. In your partner's current situation, we have Temperance. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius. Your partner could be a Sagittarius. You could have a Sagittarius placement, something along those lines. In your past connection, we have the Two of Swords upright. In your present connection, we have the Three of Rods in reverse. And in your future connection, we have the Knight of Cups. Wow. Okay. That's that very soon energy that we are seeing. That's really beautiful. So for that Page of Wands, right, we're kind of thinking about pages are typically, they have some maturing to do. They have some growth to do, right? We go from page to knight to queen to king. So they kind of need to not necessarily grow up in kind of like a negative context, but they're still learning, right? They're still going through a learning phase. The Page of Wands really talks about, because someone's kind of learning, a lot of it has to do with like information, right? And messages. So this feels like this could be a message via social media. It could be a text message. It could be a call. It could be a conversation person to person. But it has to do with passion. It has to do with like excitement, right? It has to do with energy. So I feel like either you or your partner or something in this connection, we're going to experience kind of a message that's going to kind of come in, that's going to be really passionate here. It's going to get you going, right? It's probably going to really enjoy, like really bring in this playfulness energy that you probably are already manifesting. Over here we have Temperance, right? Again, we could be focusing on a Sagittarius. Temperance, is a fire element, but it's also incredibly watery, right? We have the pond here, we have the cups and the exchanging of water, and fire and water produce steam, right? And steam is energy, right? A lot of this has to do with like peace, right? And kind of, that's funny, I wanted to say prosperity as well. Like healing, peace, and prosperity. Interesting. And so I kind of feel like your person is in their little oyster shell right now, and they're just really enjoying it. They're just really enjoying it. They're like, this is very peaceful. I'm in a very peaceful spot. And they haven't necessarily come forward yet. They might just not be ready to come forward, but they're just kind of really enjoying this like almost warm, cozy bubble that they kind of built for themselves, is kind of the energy that I'm feeling here. In your past connection, I really don't get this was in terms of like this connection. This might have been more so for you. We have the Two of Swords, right? And we have someone here who is sitting down, right? They are blindfolded and they're holding two swords, and they're kind of almost weighing these swords. They're kind of almost like feeling these swords. They're kind of like almost like, without using their visuals, without using their senses, they're kind of weighing their options, right? They're making a decision here. The moon in the back is really talking about the subconscious, really talking about the intuition, really talking about how they feel versus what they think in this connection, right? So this might have been a past connection. This might be for this connection here, but I really get the impression that it was probably more so for you, that you had a very, very important decision that you were making. And you've kind of made the decision and it feels right, and you've kind of traveled forward, right? Over here in your present moment, we have the Three of Rods in reverse, right? This is someone who's standing atop this cliff, standing atop this mountainside, overlooking this whole bay. It's very challenging to see, but you can kind of see like almost ships off in the distance. He's observing these ships, right? His rods are firmly planted, and it's kind of like almost him. I've done the work, I've done the hard work, and I'm waiting for all of my opportunities, and I'm waiting for all of my treasures to actually come in. It's in reverse, right? Which usually suggests to me that sometimes the opportunities that you're waiting on aren't actually going to come in, that it might have been a lost cause, which is a little bit disheartening. But for me, more so, this is saying that like you've probably been patient, like patiently waiting, and things just haven't come as fast to you as you've wanted them to, right? This is why I kind of saw the Wheel of Fortune, and kind of it was turning in a way that was like it was slowly coming, right? It was slowly coming. It wasn't going as fast as you want it to, but it was moving in the direction that you wanted to. It just takes a little bit of time and patience, right? That's also why Temperance is on the board. It's asking you to have patience in this connection. Last but not least, we got the Knight of Cups, right? This is like an emotional night. This is someone who's going to come in and who's offering his cup to you, offering his emotions, offering his feelings, right? This is someone who's coming in to make an emotional offer, right? Very graceful, like very much like a suitor energy. I love to see this. It feels really great. This is why that engagement is kind of coming in, right? This is why also I'm kind of getting the impression that it's a newer connection, not an older connection. It can be an older connection, but it feels like a newer connection only because he's a knight, right? If it were an older connection, if we were experiencing marriage or something like that, we might see a king of cups here or a queen of cups here. But it's a knight of cups, meaning it's probably something a little bit newer. But Taurus, I really love this energy. Thank you so much for checking out your October 2020 reading, and I will see you in November. Thanks, guys.